reached out to WLBT and asked them if they were aware of who the man, and I had done that before I got hold of Mr. Archie. If they could verify, and this is before me calling Mr. Archie, if they could verify who were the managers for these elections. And as soon as I received from both entities that it was Tony Johnson, I had already saw the footprint, what I call the footprint. We are creatures of habit.
And so, as an officer of the court, I represent Tony Johnson has never been a campaign manager. And Tommy Smith, you're aware of that?
Absolutely, and not. That's not the information provided to me. Absolutely not.
And the opinions you reached in the video we just saw, it's based on your previous involvement with Tony Johnson and the assumption that Tony Johnson was a campaign manager for Supervisor Smith, correct?
No, sir. I did not make an assumption. I did not assume. I questioned WLBT if they could show, if they knew who the campaign manager was. I did not assume anything. Then I called Mr. Archie.
Let me ask you this. Every time you've been involved at the resolution board meeting, at a ballot examination, you've seen myself as a representative for Mr. Smith, correct?
I did not see you at the resolution, or are you talking about the ballot box examination?
You testified you've seen me present representing him.
Absolutely.
You've seen Mr. Williams present representing him?
Who is Mr. Williams?
The gentleman in the front row.
I've seen Mr. Williams present at the examination.
Have you ever seen Tony Johnson present at all?
Yes, sir.
When?
In this courtroom.
I'm talking about.
It was related to this election.
No.
You asked a question, I didn't answer. I've seen her in this courtroom. She was subpoenaed to appear in this court.
I'm talking about, have you seen her at a resolution board, counting, or any ballot examination regarding this case?
No.
Have you seen any document that would suggest Tony Johnson in her role as a campaign manager for Mr. Smith?
No.
And so, other than what your client told you, what you gathered from WWT, you 2 days after voting had closed, but before any ballot examination, you cried from machine manipulation.
I declared, I didn't cry, I declared that it is consistent with all the other ballot box reviews. And by the way, Ms. Johnson attended those reviews. I've already attested to that.
Yesterday I asked you how many times you testified in court.
Yes.
You said once, remember?
I said once we did a sidebar deposition, but to attest, that's correct.
You said you testified once, and that was under the Dolores Smith v. Becky Fisher and the Yazoo County Executive Committee case, correct?
That's correct.
You testified in that case.
I said, let me make sure we're clear. I said that I was a support person, and I offered the testimony, I prepared the people for the court, and I offered the testimony of the boundary stuff.
You prepared witnesses?
Yes, I prepared. I went, Ms. Nancy L. Hudson would be a witness.
But you didn't offer any testimony in court like you do today.
No, I offered it when we did our deposition of each person.
Right. And so the statement you made yesterday when I asked you did you testify in court, that was not true.
That was not.
And I know it's not true because I've got the doctor report from the case, right?
And I actually have the docket case as well. That's correct.
So you did not testify
in that particular case, I did not.
So yesterday your statement was incorrect, right?
My statement.
Hold up.
I'd like to answer.
Just you just need to let her finish before cutting off. That's not the case.
No, I mean,
Your objection is overruled. I don't think he was cutting off. He was allowed to finish. Go ahead.
Yesterday, you told me under oath. You testified one time in a case. I wrote the note down. Dolores Smith v. Yazoo, And yesterday, when we got a break, I went to my office, I pulled the gate. You never testified inside, did you?
All right, counsel, she said that she hadn't testified, so let's move on.
I like to have the doctor from that case offer the evidence.
And I'd like to offer,
Wait a
Laura
minute.
Smith called me
What?
last night to redirect me.
Miss
That
Walker,
Yes, sir.
this is my courtroom,
Yes, sir.
and I
I'm
control
gonna-
what happened. I'm not gonna tell you again. now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hold on. You got it, Mr. Harris.
You're not object to that document being introduced, it's not a certified copy of the document.
The objection's overruled. It's noted for the record.
D5.
That's D. That's D4.
Hey, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. Yes, sir, Mr. Martin.
Ms. Walker, that's your name, image, and likeness on the video, correct?
Yes, sir.
And not been manipulated at all, has it?
No, sir.
I like to have the video marked as D5.
Yeah, we object on the basis of, we don't know what's on that flash drive. He didn't play that from that flash drive.
There's a copy of that video.
Will you accept that or do you want to play it?
I'll offer it now, and then we'll check it later.
That's fine, we can do that, so we can move on.
Okay, that's D5. So,
This is D6.
D5. It's received subject to you having the opportunity to verify, Mr. Monk.
I thought D5 was the document.
D5 is a document, I thought, and D6 is a.
This is D5, right?
What is that?
Yes, ma'am, that's D5, video is D5.
And what's the document?
D4.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna have, Mr. Harris, you wanna have the opportunity to see the thumb drive on it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll have that opportunity.
Ms. Walker,
Ma'am.
Ms. Walker, I've seen several videos where you refer to yourself as Mr. Archie's representative. Is that correct? I've heard that on P1, P2, is that correct?
Absolutely not. I identify myself as a ballot box examiner. Mr. Matt Wilson would be his legal representative. But I do identify myself as the lead ballot box examiner.
Because you understand, when I was at the ballot box review, I didn't see any lawyer there for Mr. Archie. Not even the two lawyers who purported to sign his certificate. Is that fair? You see the lawyers there standing with him?
No, sir.
All right. And for you to say you're a representative when in fact you're paralegal, you couldn't admit that under oath because that would be practicing law without a license, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
And that's a felony.
The objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Let's move on.
Now, in the video, you said you ran for mayor in Yazoo in 2022. There were 3 people involved in that race, Mr. Starling, Mr. Rucker, and yourself. Mr. Starling was declared the victor. He got 1,064 votes. Mr. Rucker got 629 votes. You got 92 votes.
And I spoke to that, yes, sir.
Objection, what's the relevance of her running for office?
Judge, she testified about it. He brought it up. I'm a wide open call.
Hey, I care who brought it up. The objection is sustained. Let's move on. It has no relevance.
Now, I want to take a look at Mr. Archie's petition that he filed in this case. And at the time of filing, you were on board with this campaign, isn't that correct?
Yes.
This has been often evident as one of Mr. Archie's exhibits. It's actually the petition. I'm showing you the official petition with the red letter at the top, same document. Pages 4, you see the precinct totals there, the numbers, you see those? On page 7 of his petition, specifically paragraph 8. Petition reads, and I quote, "The examination of ballot boxes showed that a great number, specifically 26 out of 26 precincts contained voted paper ballots." Do you see that?
I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm gonna have to pray that you read it correctly. Unless you can give me something up close, but I would imagine that you have spoken and reflected what it says.
Right, that's
I don't know
paragraph
what
8.
read this on.
Right. And so, my question is this: of the 26 out of 26 precincts, how many ballots did you count?
We counted every single paper ballot that they gave us that were used ballots.
How many was that of the used ballots?
And we counted, I wouldn't have the exact number retained in memory, but the good news is it's in one of our exhibits, the number. There's no way I would know off the top of my head.
You're an expert.
Let her
I
finish.
am.
Hold up, Council.
I am the witness that's given what I found in that review, and I stand on that examination, but to retain every number, I would ask that we refer back to the documents to confirm that.
Which exhibit? Which document?
Ms. Reverend, can you give you the total?
Which
But
document?
we counted them per precinct,
Right,
so we can add them all up.
right. So where is that document? Where is the document, you said the document was in evidence, where is the document that confirms paragraph 8 of this petition, the number of voted paper ballots?
I'm waiting on a response from the team. Let me explain this. I am the ballot box examiner. I find the information, I gather information, and our team does reporting. And so we reported, and this is the report.
Am I have with it?
Oh, yeah, these are my notes, and I'm not sure, you may even have that in your exhibit. But when we received a notice from your office of the things that you require, you didn't ask us to bring you the number of voted, or items I counted.
I don't have burden of proof, Ms. Archie.
I understand that, but you do.
Hold up. What's your objection, Mr. Harris?
Argumentative,
Overruled.
I don't have a burden, Ms. Archie.
And I totally agree that Ms. Archie bears the burden, but you also sent in the materials that you would be asking of me, and you didn't ask me to provide you with the number. Oh, I read that.
But in his sworn petition, paragraph 8 says, there is a number that you reviewed of voted paper ballots. My question is, simply, you're the expert.
Well, then,
Let me finish. Over my objection, this court qualified you as an expert. Tell me the number.
it would be the exact same number that's on that petition if Mr. Archie submitted that number.
Okay, so those numbers, if we go up above it, 4,687 here, plus 2,810 will be 7,497. Is that correct?
That could possibly be the number. I'm not the preparer of the report.
All right.
Your Honor.
That's
Hold
out of my
on,
scope.
Mr. Walker. Yes, sir, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, I have an objection that this witness did not draft this petition. This witness only participated in the ballot box review what's contained and how it's drafted in this petition.
Is that your objection?
Yes.
Your objection noted for the record, it's overruled.
Thank you.
Allows you to put it on as an expert and she's subject to cross-examination.
So you come here as an expert, don't have a number of total paper ballots of all 26 precincts, correct? You don't have that number, do you?
Oh, I do not have that number in my possession, but the number is reflected in the report.
Neither do you have the number of the ballots that were cast that were still included in the machine. You don't have that number either, do you?
I'm not allowed, and you didn't allow me to answer that. We went on break. I'm not allowed to add to a report. So when Mr. Archie showed up, you don't even see me in the video. I walked away from the video. I said, y'all have found ballots that have not been counted. All I can do is note that you found these ballots. The law does not permit me to go find ballots and add them to a review. So I removed myself.
Let's look at paragraph 9. I just want to keep moving. Paragraph 9. The examination of the ballot box shows a great number of precincts, specifically 26 out of 26, were missing the machine tapes, end tapes, right? That's what the petition says, right?
Yes.
Can you point to any act or omission of any official as to why those machine end tapes were not present?
Are you asking me why they were not?
Yes. Was it, you're the expert.
The only reason machine tapes are not put in a ballot box, someone failed to put them in. And who would have custody of them? The Democratic Party had custody of those machine tapes. I certainly, as a ballot box examiner, wouldn't know what they did with them or why they didn't put them in the box. That would be a question for the Democratic Party, not Ms. Walker. I didn't have them, sir.
But if they're missing, you can't assume it was fraud, can you?
If they're not where the law, the statute dictates for them to be, it is a flagrant breach, radical departure, breaking of the law, and I can't decide if it's fraud because you all define what dictates fraud. I'm saying they broke the law, yes. You decide, the attorneys decide that, I don't decide that.
So you can't say that those missing tapes constitute a fraudulent act, yes?
I'm going to say those missing tapes broke the law.
Right, but I need an answer to my question. You're the expert.
Well, let's call it fraud if that's what you want to call it. I'm just telling you they were not there. I don't define the law, sir. You're asking stuff outside of my scope.
Let's move on to paragraph 10. This is important because you spent a lot of time on the missing voter registry books. Remember that?
Absolutely.
And you also said yesterday that you couldn't even determine if Mr. Smith himself voted, right?
And Mr. Archie.
Right. Knowing the identity of a voter doesn't impact the fact that they cast a ballot. Because even if he signed the book, you couldn't tell who he voted for, could you?
I have absolutely no concept of what you just asked me, so I'm going to respectfully to ask you to restate that.
Yes, ma'am. You said that you couldn't identify Mr. Smith's signature or Mr. Archie's signature in a voter registration book, correct?
Absolutely not. That's not my testimony.
All right, and so
That was not the testimony.
had you seen their signatures, the only fact you can glean from that is that a ballot was cast. correct?
Sir, for this court, my testimony stands that in the two precincts that Mr. Smith and Mr. Archie reside in, those precincts where they would cast their vote, I never saw their ballot box, their register books. Would I have been able to identify their signatures? No, but I could not identify any voter's signature. We didn't get their books.
It doesn't matter when it comes to the total number, does it?
It does matter.
The identity of the voter?
No, it does not. But we can't identify any of these people, not just those two.
Let's look at paragraph 10 real quick.
Keep it going because I couldn't identify anyone.
So you said 18 out of 16 precincts were missing voter registered sign books. See that? And then the next one says the only precincts which include registered books were precincts 25, 40, 41, 84, Bolton, Edwards, Pine Haven, and Brandon. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
All right.
Other than, you said 18 out of 16, the number is 18 out of 26 precincts.
18 out of 26 precincts.
Yes, sir.
So if, and I hate saying this, if this court were to disenfranchise 18 out of the 26 precincts and only count the precincts, look at the screen for me, only count the precincts where you can get Judge, can she leave her seat and say so?
She can step down.
If you look at those where you say where you
Wait a
found.
minute, give her an opportunity. You
Yes,
want to
yes,
step
sir.
down.
Oh,
Mr. Harris, you want to move over closer? Mr. Wilson, you may move off.
This is not our petition, this is, what is this?
Judge, this is a spreadsheet that shows the votes from the exhibit. It's only in a spreadsheet format.
What is this?
It's a spreadsheet that comes from the exhibits.
You're not objecting to any summary,
How do you offer
Wait a
those?
minute, wait. Hold up. Let him finish, go ahead.
yeah, you're not objecting to any summary, evidence.
What's wrong with the summary?
Well, that's what I know, but I don't know where you pull this information from.
It's out of the exhibits. It came from D1, the recalculation report.
Stand by my.
Okay, the objection noted for the record is overruled.
All right, so Ms. Walker, just take a look at this real quick, right? You say that you only found voter registration books for those precincts, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I extrapolated those numbers. For precinct 25, Mr. Smith got 206 votes, Mr. Archie got 94 votes. You see that?
Yes, sir.
40, Mr. Smith got 210 votes, Mr. Archie got 122. If you add all those up, just for the 8 precincts, you found voter registration books, or Mr. Smith still comes out ahead by 670 votes. Isn't that correct?
According to these numbers, that would be correct, sir.
Now, let me show you something that's important in this case. Watch this. This is why I love experts like you. Watch this.
Do I need to stay right
This is the
here?
right thing. So if I scroll down just a little bit, at the official recapitulation figures, Mr. Smith got 4,687 votes. Mr. Archie got 2,810 votes. See that?
Yes, sir.
Tell the court what is the respective percentage for each candidate. In the official recalculation results.
Mr. Smith shows 62.5%, and Mr. Archie reflects 37.5%.
So even if I go back up to yours,
Wait a minute.
Yes, here's the continuing problem with this summary that was testified on. The paragraph 10 of this petition said there's 18 of the 26 precincts were missing. This summary only shows 8 of the precincts.
You'll have on
and
cross-examination.
8 plus 18 is 26. You're looking at that.
I say cross, you'll have on redirect.
So if you go back to what he, let's say right there, Cleveland. If you go back to what he put in his petition, the 8 precincts, if this court were to totally disenfranchise 18 precincts of African American voters and just leave the 8 precincts that you found voter signature books for, because you said identity of the voter is important. I don't think so. I think the numbers are important. But if you add the totals, tell the court what is the total Mrs. Smith would have gotten with 1,782 votes under your theory.
Here, this reflects 4,006.
No, go back up to the top. If we just look at the 8 precincts, you found voter signature books for what was Mrs. Smith's total?
1,782 votes are reflected on this sheet.
What percentage is that?
62%.
Is that not the exact same percentage as the official recalculation results stated August 8, 2023?
I would have to review the report.
Take a look at the report. Can we analyze that one?
Or I would, if there's no objection from my team, I would say that's the same number. This report is broken down by each precinct individually. It does not give a cumulative number that would be reflective of those 8 votes by
Those 8 precincts.
8 precincts. So the report, I would have to add each one of those.
Take a moment.
So-
Matter of fact, I got the summary. I got the summary report.
Mr. Mark, don't interrupt her. Allow her to finish.
I'm sorry.
This report breaks down precinct votes per precinct. So I would have to operate that your totals are accurate per precinct.
Why don't you say it
Because, I'm sorry? Because my team didn't object to them. If one of those figures, or if the total did not appear to be accurate, then I would have heard more of it.
Can you please take a look at page 61D1 and confirm the total?
So I'm gonna do the process, just because the court requires it. For the record, the attorney directed me to page 61.
Is that the page where the?
You're the attorney. Okay, let me make sure this court understands how this report works and what's taking me a measure. The report covers, it will report every election per precinct. So I'm having to go through it to find each one of those precincts. Those 8 precincts are not listed on page 61. So that's all I'm offering to the court. What's taking me so long, it reflects the entire race that's on a ticket.
This is all the time to question you, and I need your testimony for the record, so take the time. I need to make sure.
And I just wanted the court to understand that I'm having to pull the report apart to find each precinct. That's all I'm offering. I'm extracting this card because it's the state election. Voting is reflected on this report as 175 for Archie, 312 for Mr. Smith.
Is that what you see on the screen?
That's what's on the screen.
So that part's correct. What's the next precinct?
Brownsville is the next one here, but it's not there. Oh, just a moment. Clinton 1 does not appear there.
Just so we're clear, Ms. Walker, we're only looking at the precincts you found voter signature books.
Yes, sir. But it requires me to go through the whole report, sir.
This one.
Okay. It shows Edwards, and that's reflected on the screen. It shows Mr. Archie, 327. And it shows Mr. Smith at 276.
That's what's reflected on the screen, isn't that correct?
That's correct, sir. The next item, precinct that I can identify with is Pine Haven. It shows Mr. Archie at 141 and Mr. Tony Smith at 351.
That's what's reflected on the screen, is it not?
Yes, sir. Is precinct 8 not applicable? Precinct 11, not applicable. Precinct 13, not applicable. Precinct 14, not applicable. Precinct 16 is not applicable. Precinct 23, Doesn't apply. Precinct 25. It shows, Mr. Archie 91, Mr. Smith 206.
That's what's reflected on the screen, is it not?
Yes, sir. This is precinct 27, does not apply. Precinct 28, doesn't apply. Precinct 29, does not apply. Precinct 30, there's no relevance. Precinct 37, no relevance. Precinct 39 is not there. Precinct 40, it reflects 122 for Mr. Archie, 210 for Mr. Smith.
That's what's reflected on the screen, is it not?
That's correct. Precinct 41. David Archie, 209. Mr. Smith, 335.
That's what's reflected on the screen, is it not?
That's correct,
The
yes.
last one is precinct 84.
94,
80.
84. Eighty-four reflects Mr. Archie, 33, and Mr. Smith,
That's
47.
what's reflected on the screen, is it not?
That's correct, sir.
During this time, I'd like to have this suffering offered in the evidence to the next.
What's at the bottom of that? No objection to the top part. What's at the bottom?
Those are the official recapitulation fees.
Any objection, Mr.?
No objection.
There being no objection, let it be marked and received into evidence of exhibitory testimony. Is that gonna be D6? It's D6.